Hey guys, my name is X Factor. Hopefully you're having a great day. And in the background is some cavalry footage as I'm trying to level up my last class to level 10. Kind of neglected this guy, but it's drastically been changed by DICE since beta, as it should have. It was simply too strong. And the one thing that you're going to notice with this is that it is still the 1895. You only one shot in the head up to around 30 or 33 meters. That means if you headshot somebody outside of that zone, it's going to take more than one shot to kill them. Body shots downtown can do in the 30s. And oftentimes it makes sense to switch your pistol up close if you don't think you can get them in the head. The pistol actually seems to have a faster time to kill, which at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Using the paper, rock, scissors gunplay to your advantage in specific situations, but you can still throw ammo, throw health, and be a supportive class, not to mention the extra armor you have. But if you take a bayonet or you get meleeed from behind, you are not revivable, and you're going to be sleeping with the fishes. And remember, this thing has a very low mag count, clip I should say, a stripper to be exact, and of course its velocity is extremely low. So it takes a lot of lead at range, which means that you really need to PTFO, play the flipping objective, to be the most successful with this kit if you're off your horse or Mr. Ed got shot. Remember, if you are on Mr. Ed, you get 2 anti-tank grenades that recharge over time. If you jump off, you get a third. So one of the tactics you can do, if you sneak up on a light tank, throw your 2 on the horse, jump off, throw a third, jump back on, couple seconds longer, you have 2 more nades. And that's going to be one of my topics of this video, as Battlefield 1 has been the most stable battlefield to date at launch. For those of you who did not play Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, the betas were a mess, the launches were an absolute disaster and nightmare for up to a year after the launch. Only was it by the creation of DICE LA and them working with the community to straighten out BF4, fix all the game-breaking bugs, the client, the server stability issues, and of course, slowly balance the game, which is one of the hardest things to do in any game, and it's only magnified by the amount of weapons and of course variations available. So when I talk about gunplay balance and some of these issues, the problem is often easy to spot, like the hunter range. It's just absolutely crazy. But what's the solution? That's actually the hard part, and it might take the developers a couple times to fix some of these glaring issues that I think are in the game, as you see me get the rare reload animation there. So, for those of you who do not know, Tuesday, December 13th, there's a massive patch coming to Battlefield 1. There is a new map available in various different game modes. Can't go into detail yet, all the modes available, but it is a massive balance patch. They are touching quite a few weapons and, of course, quite a few vehicles. And some of the things that you're used to doing in the game right now might actually change, but I can't go into further detail until on the 12th, when I can break down the entire patch and offer you guys exclusive gameplay of the new Battlefield 1 map available free to everybody, starting on December 20th. Now, for those of you who pre-order the game or own premium, you can start playing the new map the day of the gameplay patch. That's December 13th. So free for everybody on the 20th, free for those who pre-ordered or, of course, own premium on the 13th. So the first thing I want to talk about, the big elephant in the room, is what happened with grenades in Battlefield 1. In Battlefield 4, there were massive tweaks to the way grenades work. Primarily, how much damage they did, their splash radius, and then how quickly they refilled. It really seemed to get into a nice sweet spot where the gunfights actually mattered. The gunfights happened first, and then nades would be used very situationally and of course tactically. One of the best ways to do it is nade forward. You might nade a corner to get a guy off of it to gain another power position, maybe move a camper off a rock or get him out of a window. That's one of the best things you could do in Battlefield 1 right now with the impact nades, which seem to be back to their BF4 launch stats, where they will one bang somebody up to a couple feet around the nade. It's not just doing 80 damage if it hits them, it's a full one bang. So a lot of times you'll see me on my live streams and some of my epic and funny videos know somebody's playing a window based on muzzle flash or bullet tracers and just toss it off the edge of the window sill only to bounce back in their face or doorway or wall corner anything. It's absolutely filthy. But all the nades seem to be juiced, whether it's anti-infantry nades or, of course, if it's anti-tank nades. And the assault is the bringer of death, whether there is a vehicle around, with a lot of the rapid-fire SMGs, and, of course, the ability to carry up to 3 different nades. The 2 anti-tank nades that you can carry are just disgusting when it comes to anti-infantry, and they have a wonderful lob allowing you to get them up over walls. So some of the lighter nades, you can actually sail the moon, goes over the wall, but it's definitely not going to drop where you want it. The anti-tank nades have a very nice art to them, and they can just destroy people. And that seems to be the penalty for those who like to PTFO, play the flipping objective. These capture points are small enough and in the open on most maps that you're simply dodging grenades everywhere. And the other part is this: the nades are so strong that there isn't much thought process to using them, because the other part of the equation, they refill extremely fast. If you're a support player carrying the little bag or the big bag, you can keep yourself with a nade in hand every couple of seconds. So you can have a stick grenade, or you can have an anti-infantry impact grenade and just wreck people. And a lot of times as you're capping these flags, as you see on my HUD right now, these highlighted nades are absolutely everywhere. The only good news is this map, there's actually some cover at these points, so you can at least get some distance between you and the nade, or try to break the line of sight. Remember, if you want to reduce damage that you're going to take from a nade, break the line of sight, or basically go prone. That's extremely effective, but the problem is, a lot of these maps, you're taking damage from multiple angles. The nades are absolutely everywhere, and that doesn't even bring up gas, which is its own separate problem. Now, it's compounded by infantry-centric maps like Argonne or Amiens, the very congested points, but there's a lot of times where you just don't take your mask off. It works to be assault for the most part, or something that has very strong hip fire, or a shotgun, because you're not going to be able to take your mask off. You take so much damage so fast, it's just not worth the risk. And gas grenades, they refill extremely fast. So my point of all this is, I miss the days in Battlefield when it was about the gun skills and the gunplay first, using your nades very wisely, because you might not get another one for quite a while. So the question is, what do you think about grenade spam right now? What do you think about the ways in which they refill? What do you think about the overall power of the grenades? Is it just too much? The next part of the question is something that's been very controversial in the Battlefield franchise for as long as I can remember. It's something I really despise, and that's the way suppression works in the Battlefield franchise. What is suppression? Well, it affects every single weapon in the game. If you're being shot at by an enemy player, you get flinch, and it can really be seen if you have an optic like a medic weapon or a sniper rifle. Your crosshair actually flinches off or flicks off the player a good amount. Then you have random optic sway, which you cannot hold your breath, and it's really hard to counter. Then you have, and one of the worst things, is random bullet deviation. Even if you're standing still, not strafing, your iron or your optic is on them, you're simply more than likely not going to hit them where you're aiming. It might be a complete miss, or you might be looking at their chest and actually get a headshot. But more times than not, the RNG is not in your favor. Then, of course, you get a blurry screen, then added recoil. With some of the LMGs and SMGs, it's pretty tough, but with medic and sniper rifles, it's not so bad due to their lower rate of fire. But what is bad, going back to the previous conversation, is gas. Friendly gas messes you up bad. It gives you full suppression, everything but the flinch, because there is no bullet whizzing by your head. So normal suppression, as long as no one's shooting at you, is about 3 to 4 seconds before it dissipates. Friendly gas, you've got it for as long as you're in the cloud, and about 5 or 6 seconds after you actually get out of the stink cloud. And remember, there is no penalty to really throwing gas if somebody's just spamming it out there if they're using a mask, but sure can hurt your team. Now, there is no suppression at close range combat, so if people are fighting within 40 or 50 feet or less, there isn't any suppression. But that's not the problem with suppression. All kits can cause it, and of course it could be at the further ranges. And here's where the penalty comes in. I play a ton of operations, and I know what you're gonna say, just change your cover. I move a ton. That's one of the keys to being successful as a sniper, or in general with your gunplay and your movement skills in Battlefield 1. in operations, people can simply sit in their uncapped, maybe not even seen head glitching, and keep you suppressed. It's the base snipers. Because you're playing the objective, you're getting pounded from multiple angles, whether it's the grenade spam or the suppressive shots, and there's nothing you can do. There's times in which I've been suppressed the vast majority of a round. If it doesn't matter if I'm playing medic, sniper, or if I'm support or assault trying to bust a tank, that's added difficulty because I'm trying to do the right thing along with my teammates. It seems like those putting their neck out the most are getting penalized the most. So here's the question. What would you do with suppression? I'd like it to be a support kit only thing, where the support players, because we all know they still need some tweaking, have the ability to suppress other players. Do you change the way suppression works? Maybe you limit the max range in which people can be suppressed as well, if that isn't the case. But whatever it is, suppression's been around since BF3. It's been absolutely abysmal. It's something that keeps creeping back even after DICE LA adjusted it and made it a heck of a lot better at the end of BF4. The question is this: was that good enough? Should that return? Instead of suppression being buffed, all classes basically being able to use suppressive fire even at crazy ranges? The only good news is it's not up close. What would you do? Because I, for one, am sick of constantly being suppressed only because I'm playing the objective and not camping in the back of the map. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and a comment. And, of course, my full breakdown of the patch notes will be coming December 12th. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon.